Well, every day this week we are bringing you ideas to help you plan a fun getaway to northern Michigan, specifically the Traverse City area.
Okay, for the last couple of years, my girlfriends and I have been saying we need to plan a trip up north.
Yes,
of course,
we have.
the leaves are at full peak. It is a perfect time of the year, and at least today, the temperatures are still relatively mild.
Yeah, and I know Traverse City, the area is home to dozens of wineries. I know that you've had the chance to do a little tasting, and this happens to be harvest time. So, okay, did you stop by any vineyards on this trip?
Yes, we actually did. I love a great glass of Michigan wine, but I was actually pleasantly surprised to find another delicious offering. The Traverse City area is known for its wine, also its craft beer. But getting bigger on the scene are hard ciders. We are here at 45 North Vineyard and Winery to learn more about that. We are here with Jay, the winemaker at 45 North, and you came on the scene here in 2012, and you were very excited about ciders and bringing that into the mix a little more.
Right, yeah. My background being beer, I always wanted this medium between beer and wine, and cider seems to fit that pretty well across the board, I think.
Yeah, I know it's becoming incredibly popular. You have some of the ciders that you make here. Tell us about them.
Well, we make 3 ciders. We have a traditional hard cider that is a semi-dry cider, so it's a little bit on the sweet side, not too dry, not too sweet. We have what we referred to in the beginning as our Franken cider. It's a wild fermented cider, so it was left to do whatever it wanted to do. It takes a little bit to get used to that cider, more like a sour beer.
Sounds a little adventurous.
It is very adventurous. The 3rd cider is one that you should try.
Okay.
Is our Citra cider. It's a dry cider that we dry hop with Citra hops, which is a newer hop on the market for IPAs.
That's
brewers.
really, really good. Really refreshing.
Right.
I like that. I know that people have been coming to Leelanau County for a long time to have the world-class wine. How has cider changed or added to that offering?
I think added is the best word. I think it's added to what we have to offer to people and really has broadened our customer base. Whereas before it was just wine and we heard a lot of, well, I don't like wine, so I don't want to go to the wineries. Yeah. Now we're tapping into that brewery crowd, and as we know, craft breweries are so big right now, so cider's kind of following in the coattails of the craft brew movement.
Just down the road and also in Leelanau County is Tandem Ciders. We're here with Dan, the owner, and you are the first. You're also still the only place that exclusively makes hard cider. Here are some of the different bottles, the ciders you create. What kind of apples do you use for your ciders?
We use all apples grown here in Leelanau County or Old Mission Peninsula. There's a lot of great apples grown up here. Michigan has the most diverse apple crop in the nation, so there's plenty of apples to choose from. We use things like McIntosh in our Smackintosh, Greening in our Green Man. We use things like Northern Spy, which a lot of people are familiar with, like pies. Ida Reds, super common apple. Jonathan's. We work with probably like 10 growers in total.
That's wonderful. I know that the farm-to-table movement is extremely big here in Traverse City area. Is the process of making cider similar to making wine?
Yes, it is very similar to making wine. We're considered winemakers by the state, and what we do is crush the apples, collect the juice so that we have the juice like you get in the fall, you know, the sweet cider you eat with a donut. And that we add yeast to and ferment. And then we ferment it for different lengths of time. For a longer time, we get a drier cider, and for shorter times, we get like a sweeter cider.
How many apples do you estimate is in one bottle?
Depending on the size and type, because some apples are really big, some like crab apples are really tiny, but on average, probably like 33.
Wow, so a cider a day keeps the doctor away.
That's for sure.
We like to hear that. You know, you make different ciders. You have about 8 of them here at Tandem Ciders. What is the difference in each type of cider? Because some might think, it's all the same.
Right. Well, the first thing is like the different apples. Each cider does have a different type of apple that goes into it, or a different blend of apples. And then also how we treat it, the fermentation. If we want a sweeter cider, we'll stop the fermentation before it's complete and leave some of that sugar. And then for drier ciders, we just let all the sugar get consumed by the yeast, so that there's nothing left with that kind of crisp acidity from the apple.
Yeah, wow, well, it sounds delicious. We're talking about expanding the winemaking experience through hard ciders here in the Traverse City area. Yeah, so I was gone a couple days last week.
Yeah, but you were working.
And so yes, that's where I was, and we have a blast. We've been to Traverse City before to show some stories and ideas on Eightwest, and I know people in West Michigan love their wines and hard ciders, but there's something very special about driving to a vineyard and winery in a beautiful setting of rolling hills and trees, and it's fall, and meeting the people who make that particular thing.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous up there.
It
I mean,
is.
all the trees, beautiful, and you got to do a little tasting too. And I know those people are usually eager to share how the wines and ciders are made, and it's a great learning experience for visitors too.
Oh yeah, my girlfriends and I we've been talking about it for the last couple of years. We have to make a trip up north, just a girls couple of days away to recharge our batteries and everything. This might just be the perfect year to do it. It's an easy drive, of course, Traverse City, only a couple hours away.
And there's an event coming up in Traverse City for food and wine lovers that you could take advantage of. The Leelanau Peninsula Vintners Association is holding their Toast the Season wine tour. It's a Northern Michigan holiday tradition. Every year in November, they offer 2 consecutive weekends of tasting and touring. And this year, it's November 1st and 2nd, and the 8th and 9th. So Terry, those might be dates that you want to put on your calendar. You get a chance to visit 8 wineries each day, get a gift bag, and wine and food pairings. And the 2nd annual Traverse City Beer Week takes place November 7th through the 14th. It's a week centered around their craft brew culture with events at various breweries, restaurants, and area merchants.
And one resource that can help is traversity.com. It's got a bunch of information about great activities, recreations, places to stay and eat, and all about the wineries.
When you travel, do you use those websites?
Yeah, I
find
do.
them extremely helpful.
Yeah, they're very helpful, especially if you've never gone up north in this season before. There's lots to do, and this is one of those avenues that can help you see everything.
A lot of ideas on your upcoming trip.
Oh yeah, you want to make sure that you don't forget those off the beaten path kind of places that are maybe difficult to find.
Yeah.
And so this is really a great resource to help you make sure you find them.
So what pairs perfectly with wine and cider? Well, cheese. You're seeing some right there. I learned there are a number of great cheesemakers in Traverse City, but one of them that's won numerous awards is Leelanau cheese. So on tomorrow's Eightwest, we're going to introduce you to the owner, John, who studied cheese making in Switzerland. He's got a wife who's French, so they're very qualified to make great cheese. They took time out of their busy schedule to show us the Leelanau cheese operation, to explain how the cheese is made, and do a taste test. So we did a lot of taste testing. That airs tomorrow, so you're going to want to make sure that you see that. And then we're going to put all of our stories at the Eightwest section of woodtv.com too. So they're great resources if you're thinking about taking a trip.
And I know we're talking about fall and the great fall weather right now. Always a great destination if you're looking at making a Christmas trip for your family as well, because so many of those establishments are open, and they're a great time of the year when the snow starts to fall too.
Yeah,
year-round destination.
That's right.
Don't go away.
We'll be right back.
Your all-access pass to everything West Michigan.